guys, so today we have a guest on the podcast. Her name's Brianne Helfrich, and we're talking to her about her brand and collection, the HelfrichCollective. We're really excited to have her on. We had her through Zoom, so it's going to be a little bit of a different setting than this, but yeah.
Hope you enjoy.
So to everyone listening, today we have Brianna. Do you pronounce it Brianna, Brianna?
Brianne.
Brianne. Okay. On the podcast. We came across you on Instagram. We came into contact on Instagram, and just for everyone listening, as I was looking through some of your platforms, like your website for your brand, which we'll talk about, and also just your Instagram and everything, I felt like even after like we first connected, I'm like, wait, we actually have a lot in common, because a lot of your platforms mention how your brand isn't just a clothing brand, isn't just like a streetwear brand, but it's more of a platform for like a bigger cause. So with that being said, can you introduce your brand and like what you do and what exactly it's about?
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Brianne Helfrich. I am 24 years old. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, but right now I'm in Pittsburgh going to school. I'm pre-med, so hopefully going to med school after I get my master's. And then I started a clothing brand during the pandemic called HelfrichCollective. And like you said, I kind of use it as a platform to raise awareness for various charities and organizations. So for each collection, we donate to a different organization. Also, I just really love fashion. I like designing different hoodies and sweats and stuff. So it's really fun. And then I also have my own podcast called Welcome to the Collective. And that's kind of it. That's all I do.
Okay, well, I had a question initially when I was looking through. Obviously, like you said, like your fashion is great, like the hoodies and the sweats are all great.
Yeah.
But I saw something you also posted. I think it was called the Trust collection, the Trust in It collection, right? And a lot of what we talk about on here is just like spirituality and just like manifestation and just like the struggles and anxieties that we go through when like trying to achieve all these goals. So I wanted to know if you can tell everyone like what went behind this Trust in It collection, what it means to you, more than just like the actual clothing.
Also, like how it started, like how you knew this was like a passion of yours that like you wanted to do.
So it kind of started on a whim. I really like didn't think that this is what I was going to do at all. Like I'm a STEM major. I know nothing about business. I like didn't know anything. And during the pandemic, my mental health kind of started to take like a huge toll. I like went through a breakup. I got sent back home into my hometown and like was in lockdown, like in a house with my family, which I wasn't used to. I was used to like being on my own. I got rejected from med schools, all this stuff. So I kind of just like was spiraling out of control. And I one day was like, what can I do to pull myself out of this? Like, I'm very self-aware. And I was like, if I keep going down this path, like, who knows what's going to happen? So it kind of just started like randomly. I was like, I like hoodies, like I like sweats. Like, why can't I kind of start this? And then with the whole trust in it, I basically during this time had to tell myself, like, you have to trust in the fact that like life is working for you, not against you. Like everything that's happening is happening for a reason. And it's like going to make me a better person at the end of it. So even like not getting into med school right away, like now I'm in a different program that I'm learning new things and it'll make me a better doctor. So it was a big thing that I was like, you just have to trust in like whatever it is that you want, like the universe, your faith, spirituality, whatever, like that everything's going to work out for you the way it's supposed to. And that kind of like gave me comfort, because when you feel like everything's out of control, you kind of just need one thing to be like, okay, no, I'm fine. Like everything will be okay. So that's kind of where that started.
Like, and we talk a lot about that too, just like trusting in the process, but also I feel like it's so hard, like just to put it simply, like it's so hard. And like the reason why I said that we're similar to you in that sense is because we also started the podcast during the pandemic. And like to think about where we were at, like when we started it, it's like a whole different mental space than where we're at now. And we kind of just trusted in it, and here we are.
I just remember like sitting in our backyard writing down like random notes, not really thinking we were going to go through with it. Like I just thought, I mean, I knew we were going to do it, but I didn't think we were actually going to actually go through with it. Like now we have a studio, like it progressed a lot. And when I think of, like you said that you're a STEM major, right?
Yeah.
and then now you're going into business, that's like a whole different major. Like it's a whole different thing. I'm a business major, a marketing, and I can't picture myself like stepping into a different subject field, or like, let's just say like me into science, or like I could never imagine that. And like, kudos to you for doing that, because that's a huge leap of faith that obviously has been working in your favor. I just think that's like really, it's like inspiring. Like I don't,
Thank you.
yeah,
I just kind of want to know like what, I know this might sound like a stupid question, but like when I like hear about people just like starting businesses and doing all this stuff, like a lot of like logistics come into play, right? Like suppliers and all of that stuff, right? And that seems like, when I think about that, that seems so daunting to me. So like, what did you physically have to do to like step into this role, right? Like you were, I'm guessing at this time, like, was the med school thing already happened where you didn't get in, or like, were you going through all this and then you just decided to start the business and just go for it? Like, how did you actually step into it, you know?
Yeah. So it was kind of like I was getting rejected from schools, and I was on a gap year from like my undergrad to like hopefully go into med school. I was on a gap year, and originally that gap year I was supposed to travel, and then obviously COVID happened and I was like in lockdown, and Canada had very different restrictions than like all my friends in America. So I was like watching them all like travel everywhere, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? But so, I mean, I still want to go to med school. I still want to be a doctor. That's still what I want to do. But yeah, starting the business, I knew nothing. I still don't really know anything. We're just like going through it and just like trying our best. But luckily, like my parents were helping. My mom's a lawyer, so she kind of helped with like the logistical side of it, because I don't understand 90% of it. And a lot of it, like, it's very scary to start your own business, but a lot of it was like I just had to research. Like I just had to like look up different things that I like in hoodies and different ways of going about stuff. And a lot of it is trial and error. Like you just try something, it doesn't work, and I'm like, okay, now I know, next time change it, you know?
And like, I'm asking because I feel like a lot of us in this generation, we have like our main like quote unquote like gig or thing or whatever. Like yours is like you're focused on going to med school. Mine is whatever ours is. But like I feel like all of us want to have that side thing. And it's like I always question like business owners like you, people who've started brands, like, would you ever want this like quote unquote side thing, passion project to turn into what you do on the day-to-day, like all day, every day? Like, does that ever run through your head? Do you ever have that mental struggle? Because I do. And I'm just like wondering if anyone else feels the same way.
Yeah, I think about it all the time, honestly, like especially like when school's really hard. I'm like, oh, I wish HC would just like blow up and I'd be in New York doing photo shoots. Like obviously they're both very taxing, but like in different ways. But it's definitely something that like I if you would have asked me at the beginning, I'd be like, this is just like a one and done thing. I'm gonna make one item and like be done. But it's kind of still going, and like we have a new collection coming out like next week, and like all this stuff, like it just keeps going into this bigger thing. So I definitely want it to be something that I want to do for like the rest of my life. But at the same time, like I'm also like I kind of still want to be a doctor, so I'm like I might as well just do both. And everyone's like, you're insane for wanting to do that, and I'm like, but let's just try it and see what happens.
And it's like it's hard to like gauge when you're doing too much, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm the same way too. Like I just want to do I just want to do it all, and everyone's like, hey, you need to slow the fuck down, you're really gonna like burn out. But it's like there's so much opportunity, and when you find something you're passionate about, you just want it to like take off, you know what I mean? So I feel the same way. Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know friends who are in med school and like they're going through it. They're like, it's so hard. And I never really understood how hard school was until talking to like a med student, like literally, because like you guys have to obviously, it's like daunting. It's a lot of like studying and work. So how do you manage like prioritizing school, but also at the same time your side hustle or the business? Like what like struggles do you have to go through? What was your biggest like obstacle do you think you had to overcome? Because there's a lot of people in the same boat, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I think like the biggest obstacle is like myself. Like I know it sounds weird, but like I will be the first to be like, you're not doing enough, push yourself harder, you suck, like whatever. And so
like self-sabotaging.
Like I would literally self-sabotage all the time. Like I would stay up till 4 a.m. doing HC and then wake up at like 5:30 the next day and like go do school. Like like I can't do that. And like that's not a healthy lifestyle to live in any way. So kind of like telling myself and like getting over my own self-sabotage and being like, you can relax, like you're gonna do better if you like take time to chill is really important. But I mean, I'm like trying to figure out how to balance it a little bit better because like I said, I'm like very want to do the best I can at everything. So I push myself really hard. But definitely like planning ahead is a huge thing. Like I will literally schedule stuff like a month in advance so that nothing's really like a huge surprise. Like especially with school. I know I have a paper due in 2 weeks. So what am I going to do now to kind of prep me for that?
Yeah.
And so that really helps. So it's just not, obviously I'm still like gonna procrastinate sometimes and like
I mean it
last
happens.
minute, like whatever, like that's just like life and that's what I do. But I try my best to start everything early and like give myself time.
I think like what you said, like self-sabotaging, me and Sam talk about this all the time. Like this generation, like Gen Z, millennials, whatever generation we're in right now, we are like, we want to, I don't even know what I am. We want to like, it's like a go kind of thing. And I talked about this last episode because we felt like I've been kind of in a rut lately where I don't really know where I'm going. And I'm like, I haven't been doing much. It feels like I haven't been doing much because in like society, in this world we live in, if you're not like waking up, working, doing your side hustle, doing sports, whatever, meditating all in one day, like you're lazy, you're not doing enough. So I feel like we get scared to like give ourselves a break. You know, so that's why I also feel like I get what you mean about like self-sabotage, because you think to yourself like you're not doing enough, but in reality, I remember who said it to us. One of our guests said to us that like work is not just like sitting your ass in a chair 24/7. Like we do work in so many other different ways, whether it be like walking your dog, whether it be studying or researching. Like we don't realize how much we put in like 24 hours.
Yeah. And even like with HC and stuff, like a lot of it's like on my phone, like a lot of it's like planning stuff, all this stuff. But in my head, I don't really think that that's work. So then I come home and I'm like, what more can I do? Like sit down, like sit your ass down and like get stuff done. And I'm like, but I literally have been exhausted all day, like calling people and sending emails and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And even on social media, like TikTok and stuff, I see another 24-year-old girl like living in a penthouse or like all this stuff. And
Dude,
I'm like, I'm literally not doing anything with my life. And I have to like remind myself, like I
see TikToks like those, like they're like, do you want to be a billionaire at 24? Like phone,
and
they have like,
wait, but not
I'm
even,
like, holy shit.
Not even that, or it's when you see, the worst is when you see someone similar to you, like let's say you, for example, you see like a 20-something-year-old girl that has a collection kind of like yours maybe, and they're living in New York in a penthouse doing this and that, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like I'm out here working so hard. And I feel that, and like it's hard because like we're so hard on ourselves. And I personally, like she said last podcast we were talking about this, I'm working on trying to get out of that. And like I don't know, thinking about how you were able, like I was looking through your website and all this, I'm like, I'm not sure if you have a team, but
it's just me and like my graphic designer. And
I was like, I don't know how, like I remember like being in school, and I'm sure it wasn't as crazy as what you're doing, but if I was in school and like having to start a business, like not having to, wanting to start a business like that, and it looks obviously professional and great.
Oh my God, thank you.
It looks so nice. I'm like, genuinely, I know how it feels to be like trying to juggle so much. So that's why we thought it was important to like have you on and just get your advice. But no,
that's crazy. And also like going back to the social media thing, how you said that like sitting down and doing social media doesn't feel like work. I was recently an intern doing like a digital media strategist, but I was a lot on my phone, and I literally felt like I'm not even working. Like I was doing things like social media calendars and influencer shit, like all that kind of stuff. But I was like, this does not feel like work. But you don't realize social media, like there's so many like techniques and tools you have to know. And I'm sure you had to teach yourself about like SEO, like word search, keywords, stuff like that still work, but just doesn't feel like it's work, you know. And social media is like huge.
How did you like build up your, I guess, social media presence with the brand? Like how did you do it from the ground up? Did you already have kind of people waiting for this to come out?
I literally did it from the ground up. Like I'm a very work hard in silence and then just like do stuff type of person.
That's the
No
best
one
kind.
knew that this was happening. Like besides like my one best friend and my parents, no one had any idea. And then one day I was like, hi, like please go buy my hoodie and like posted it, made an Insta, like all this stuff. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Like where did this come from? I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, like I designed this, like
And
surprise kind of
okay,
thing.
that makes me think about, I think, are you gonna say the same
No,
thing?
I was gonna say, did you feel not insecure, but did you
Imposter
feel
syndrome?
I don't like using that word
I
because not
get
everyone.
imposter syndrome
Oh,
all
you know what
over.
that is. Okay, I was gonna say like I didn't even know what that
Obviously,
is.
yeah.
No, I didn't know what it was at first, so I don't know. But I was gonna say like, did you feel like you posting like, okay, hoodies are up, like designed by me? Did you feel like in the inside you're kind of like, shit, like what if people like
Oh my
talk
God.
shit?
I was like shitting myself. Like I was so scared.
But
I
like,
mean, it's a scary thing because you like putting yourself out there no matter
Yeah.
what. Like
mhm,
it's such a scary thing. And I just, same thing. I had to like get over my self-sabotage and be like, do people actually care this much
mhm.
about what I'm doing? Probably not. Like I'm a
Yeah.
little self-centered. People probably don't care. Like it's fine type of thing. But yeah, no, I was like shitting myself.
And
Like I
even
was
if they
like,
do
no way.
care, like it's who care, like who, why do we care that they
Yeah.
care? You know, like everyone has their own thing. I've seen there's so many side businesses that came out of COVID that like my friends are doing or like acquaintances. And it should be something that like, you know, good for you kind of thing, like not shitting on it. But I mean, there are always gonna be people like that anyway.
But you
So
know what? Almost the thing is, I feel like it's because, I mean, I'm happy for anybody who came out of this COVID shithole with like a business or like a passion project, but it's almost like, I feel bad saying this. I don't know if this is bad to say, but it's almost like like oversaturated, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
there's
I
so
agree.
many things going on that like you're, I don't know about you, but like I feel like I'm comparing our little side hustle thing to someone else's, and you're like, fuck, like did we not work hard enough throughout this whole time? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if you feel that way, but
No,
that's
I
my type of
literally
imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I literally feel the same. And like people in my hometown now are like starting to kind of come out with like businesses similar. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh, okay, like great. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm also like, I think my work ethic is what's going to make my brand stand out. Like, I
yeah.
think that, I mean, everyone that wants to do stuff and everyone's like, has this idea, even with a podcast, people are like, yeah, this would be so fun. I might get famous from it, whatever. But then they're going to die off when they realize how much hard work actually goes into it. And so I'm like, people like us that are still working hard and hustling at it, like I really think it's going to show and it's going to be known, you know.
Not only that, but people can see through like a brand's personality. You know what I mean? Like they can tell if you're fake. They can tell if you just want to get famous off shit. Like we didn't start this podcast. I have even now, like the thought of being famous is not like my main priority. Like I'm not trying to.
It gives me anxiety, honestly. I'm like, that is way too much pressure.
No, yeah, like I just want
people to look at me.
Yeah, no, that's literally me. Like Sam always make it like it would be nice to go to LA and do all that shit, whatever. But I don't think I could be like in the eyes of people like that, like 24/7. And I actually kind of like, I'm sure everyone likes their like job that they do, but like I want to pursue like what I'm studying. You know what I mean? Like you said before. What was I saying now? I forgot what I was saying. I rambled.
I don't know. We're rambling, but I genuinely think what
I'm trying to think about what I was saying, but I forget now.
You were saying that about not
Oh no, I
to be
forgot.
recognized.
No, before that. It's okay.
Okay, well, I just want to say, because I don't want people listening being like, okay, like
the famous thing.
You're comparing yourself to other people with brands and businesses. It's not about that. It's like you said, like it's how you want to stand out from this like oversaturated market, right? Like I don't want people to think like I don't want someone else to do well.
No, of course not.
You know what I mean?
No, of course. And like I honestly think there's so much abundance that like everyone can do well and that kind of thing. And it sounds dumb. I like always tell myself like they're not me and that is my power. Like no one's gonna do stuff exactly the way I am and all this stuff. And that's what makes me stand out, because no one's gonna go about things the exact same way that I am. You know, but
I always tell myself, because like I get that way too, and I get anxiety when I see like, I don't know, I get anxiety about like what I'm doing, like my side hustle, when I see like other people just like, this is gonna sound bad, but this is just like my own insecurity. I'm just like being open about it. When I see other people just like blowing up and doing so well, like while I'm happy for them, I'm just like, why not me? Like, why not me?
You're like, what am I doing wrong? Kind of thing.
Right. So what I have to keep reminding myself is that like, that's not my journey, or like, let's say for the podcast, that's not our journey. Like our journey is going to be different. We're successful in a different way. We're like connecting with people like you, like from different areas of the world, the country, you know what I mean? That's what success looks like to me. So I feel like for anyone out there listening who's like debating doing something but scared, I feel like you just have to focus on your own journey. You know,
not only that, but also consistency is like key for 1,000%. You know, you might not be looking at your progress as a lot, but once you keep being consistent with it, like we've seen it with the podcast too. I'm sure you've seen it with your business. Like there's times where you're like, hey, I just want to give up and like stop. But when you keep going, that's when all the hard work pays off, right?
Question. In times of like those moments where you're like, hey, I just want to quit, like you don't have to share if you don't want to, but what's like the worst thing that's happened so far, like throughout your journey? Not worst, but just like the biggest kind of obstacle that you're like, fuck this, like I don't even want to continue. And how did you like get out of it? I know you mentioned before that in general you just tell yourself, you know, to keep going and like stand out from the rest and your work ethic, but like tangibly, what was like a moment that you can
so for our second collection, it's like a hoodie and sweats, and there was a manufacturing error and they like kept messing up like the bulk order kind of thing, and it took like a really, really long time for me to get them, but I already launched it. And that was like my fault. I like launched it too early. I thought they were going to be there the next day. They weren't. And so I had this like month period that I was like, I'm so sorry, like they're coming kind of thing. And I literally, I'm not even joking, I like cried like every day. I was so stressed out. Again, it's like a thing how I'm like, do these people really care? Not really. Like they're like, it's fine, I'll get it at a certain point, whatever. But because I put so much pressure on myself, I was like so distraught. But honestly, all the time I think like, I'm done, like fuck this, I've had enough, like this is too much. And then I kind of have a breakdown for a minute, and then like the next day I'm like, okay, so now like what am I gonna do? Okay, like, let me call people and like figure things out. But I think it's so normal, like
it is.
You just, especially because it's like it's something that I want so bad and like I'm trying so hard at. If I feel like I'm not seeing benefits from it, or like I have a really slow week, or like whatever it is, I can get really hard on myself and really down. And I'm kind of like, do I really want to do this? It's so much stress. Like I hate this. And then again, next day I'm like, okay, no, like we love this. We're fine. We'll keep going.
You have to like remind yourself why you started it in the first place.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's like what my parents told me too. They were like, you started it to like help people and like raise awareness and donate. And as long as you're doing that, like you're doing well.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, it's not about the sales. It's about like helping these people that you wanted to help. And that's why you started it.
No, yeah, 100%. And I like commend you for that. I was looking at some of the like the charities. The most recent one was St. Jude's, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or is that not the
No, that was like 2 ago. So the most recent one was Refugees International.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you go about, do you just like pick which one, like pick a charity that means something to you every time a new collection comes out, or do you get suggestions? Like how do you go about doing that?
Kind of both. So for the first one, like I said, it was like the Trust in It collection. So mental health was a huge thing.
Yeah.
So that's where I wanted to donate to. And then my mom suggested this women's shelter in Edmonton. So I like reached out to them and I like love them. So we donated to them too. And then it's kind of just like whatever is kind of like going on in the world. Like I did Refugees International for the last one because that was kind of like really, really prominent in the world and I like wanted to help a lot. And so it kind of just depends if people have suggestions, and I obviously will like look into the charities. I make it like a point to like reach out to the charities and like get to know them a little bit more, because if I like actually want to advocate for them, I need to like actually
know yeah 1,000%.
Yeah, you never know sometimes. Yeah,
exactly. So like for the next one that we have launching, I'm gonna do Santa's Anonymous. It's like in Edmonton, and they like donate toys and stuff, and like my grandma and grandpa used to take me to deliver toys when I was little, so it's like a
close to home
type of thing. Yeah, like for Christmas.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it just like depends. Kind of depends on like what we're feeling.
What we're feeling, like what's going on in the world. Yeah. So when does the new collection launch again?
The 22nd, I believe.
Of November, you said. Yeah. Okay. Like so in time for Black Friday. When is Black Friday?
On Friday.
Next Friday, not this Friday.
Oh, is it not this Friday? Oh, okay.
I thought it was this Friday. Oops. Okay.
I know. American Thanksgiving. I'm like, I'm Canadian. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
When is American Thanksgiving? I don't even know when that's
next Thursday. So not this Thursday coming up, but the Thursday. Yeah, like next
okay.
week. Yeah.
Okay, before we let you go, I do want to ask you a question that's kind of random, but like, how was it moving from Edmonton to, because you moved from Edmonton to where you are now for school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how was that? Like, how was that change? I've always wondered, like, I wish I went away for school, kind of like,
I always think about that.
Not like Laurier or like wherever, like somewhere around here. Like, I wish I went like to the States. How is that?
It's good. I mean, I like it for undergrad. I did 2 years of my undergrad in Edmonton and I didn't like it. Didn't really have friends. People are kind of mean to me, whole situation. So I literally up and left and I like moved to Arizona and went to U of Arizona for my undergrad. So I did that and then COVID hit. I got sent home, spent a year at home, and then I got into this program in Pittsburgh. So I moved here. So I was kind of used to like moving away from home. But I honestly, I like love it. Like, I feel like I'm a very different person just from like leaving my hometown and like getting to know different people and kind of like broadening my horizons than I was when I was still at home.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Really cool. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I wish I could do that because sometimes I feel like I'm in a bubble in my hometown. Like, I go to school in Toronto. So right now it's remote, but next semester, I'm doing my postgrad. So it'll be in like Toronto. But even just Toronto, like I go there every weekend. So it's not really leaving my bubble really. Like, I feel like also the States, like school in the States is like different. Like it's like, it's university, you know, it's like an experience rather than like here, it's kind of like not really like, you know, that's fun.
Yeah. When I went to undergrad, so like U of Arizona, it's like a huge school, like huge. And so Greek life is a huge thing. So I like went through Rush. I joined a sorority.
Oh my God. Wait, how is a sorority?
Oh my gosh, it is wild.
Is it like how it is in movies?
I mean, kind of
like House Bunny,
stuff. Like, have you seen those TikToks? And it's like opening the gates of hell, and it's like all the girls clapping at the like that's actually what happened.
Really? What the fuck? I
like
wish.
that's like actually what it is. Like, it was a really cool thing to experience because obviously in Canada we have like Greek life, but there's like 4 people in the sorority. It's not the same at all.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. And like my parents came for football games and like my dad would go to the frats with me and like chug beers with all the boys. Like, it was like cool and like fun. So yeah, it was like a really cool experience and I like loved it.
I like when I look back, I hate saying I wish I did that, but like for me, when I think about my undergrad, I went to U of T, so in Toronto.
Yeah.
Kind of like you, I had no friends. It was such a lonely experience. Like when I think about it, like ask Fran, it's weird. Like I don't cry, but when I think about my undergrad, and I don't know if you feel the same way, you said that you felt like you just hated it, but I could cry because of how I felt. Like I felt so lonely and just like not myself, but I kept going through like fucking 5 years of it. It took me to do my undergrad because of the fact that I was like struggling mentally. I like commend you for upping and leaving because I almost didn't even feel like that was an option for me. I don't know why. It's almost like the barrier, like I'm self-sabotaging again. I was like, no, I can't. It started here, I have to end here. So like good for you because I wish I did that.
Yeah, it was definitely like a hard thing to just like I had a boyfriend at the time and I was like, just so you know, like in a month I'm leaving. I'm like, okay, see ya, like up and moved. But like I just felt like I had to do it. Like I was so depressed at home and like same thing. Like, I mean, obviously, my little brother went to U of A. So like not Arizona, Alberta. And that's like where I went to for like 2 years. But it was like, you live at home, you drive to school, you go to school, you go home. Like it was very high school. I didn't meet new people. Everyone that I went to school with was still the same people I like went to high school with who were mean to me. So
that's
I was
so
like,
annoying.
It like I didn't feel like I could branch out, and then it kind of just got to a point that I was like, I need to leave, like Mom, I need to leave. And so I applied to Arizona, got in, and in like a month I was like, okay, see ya, and like just never really looked back on it. But
good for you, dude. I wish I did that, honestly. And if you ever come across that feeling again where you're like, hey, where am I going with my life? Look back and be like, I upped and moved to fucking Arizona from Edmonton. Like that's
that's a big change.
It's a big change. You're going from like plains to desert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Sorry, that was so off topic. I know we're like talking
No,
about your
that's
business and all
okay.
that, but I was thinking about that, and that like must have been a huge contributor to like who you are today and how you started this business.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I mean, it's like a very scary thing to do it, but like same thing, you just have to try it. Like I'm a very big advocate for like just trying it. And if you don't like it or you're not good at it or whatever, like at least you can know that you like attempted it. Like I hate having what ifs. So I'm like, I'm just gonna try everything. And if it sucks, it sucks. But like I'm not gonna look back and be like, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have tried something new.
100%. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Do you have any last questions for her?
No, that's it, I think. Well, I mean, I guess one more. Where do you see, I hate this question, but I'm asking you, where do you see yourself in like your business in like 10 years? Like, what's your main
No, that's too long.
biggest,
10 years is
okay,
too daunting.
3 or 5, like your biggest goal that, like, for example, would you ever consider going like in like a retail store, like a physical retail store rather than like on e-commerce? Sorry, I can't speak.
Yeah. I was thinking about this. Like whenever I'm on the treadmill working out, I always think like, what am I going to do with my life? I'm like, where am I going?
What if I do it?
Yeah. And I'm like, a storefront would be like so cool. And then I'm like, is that like a lot of pressure? I don't know. But like, I think like a storefront in like New York or something, or even like a pop-up in New York.
Yes, pop-up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be in like Harper's Bazaar, like that they write about us, like that kind of thing, or like Vogue writes about us or whatever. I really want like Hailey Bieber to like wear HC. So I'm like, if anyone knows her and can get her a hoodie, like let me know.
Oh my God. So wait, so can you send that stuff? This is such a stupid question. Like, I don't know anything about like doing this, but can you send the product to like, I guess, famous people and like influencers? Just send it to them?
I guess I like could if I knew her address and stuff. I'm like, if anyone like knows that, like feel free to send it over.
I'll do
but
some
like
digging.
I'm like, I don't know. But I mean, like smaller influencers and stuff, like sometimes I'll reach out to them on Insta and like get their info and like send them hoodies or something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how do I contact Jay Beebs? Like, how can I call him? I'm like,
he's a hard one to reach.
He actually,
like,
did you hear about
the
Timbit collaboration with Justin Bieber?
Oh my God. Yes.
I'm very excited.
I want Timbits so bad.
Wait,
I'm
what?
like, I need
you haven't heard of this?
Get them.
You haven't heard of these?
No.
Oh,
Tim Hortons. Yeah, with Tim Hortons. And there's a whole video on it. Like he goes into the conference, it's like obviously scripted, but he goes into the conference room and he's like so funny in it and cute. Like, I just want to switch him. But anyways, he goes in there and like they're doing like Timbit ideas. And basically he's like, oh, let's call them Tim Biebs. And they're 3 like distinct flavors.
What are they?
Oh, what are the flavors?
They're like
birthday cake waffle, birthday waffle.
Some like weird, like
they're weird flavors, but like
Oh, what a
but
cutie.
I want them so bad. I'm like, I will fly home and get them. Like, I want them so.
Is there no Tim Hortons where you are?
No, and that's so sad because I love Timmy's, like a nice farmer's wrap. Like that's my favorite.
Oh, farmer's wrap are so good.
I feel like, isn't there? You said you're in Philadelphia now, right?
Yeah, like Pittsburgh.
Okay, sorry, I like get confused between Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh.
No, I got confused when I first moved here too, and I was it's so confusing.
But anyways, I swear there's Tim's in like New York, which is kind of close to where you are, isn't it? Or no?
Yeah, I think there's like a few Timmy's in New York, but
I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, okay, well, thank you. I don't want to keep you too long, but thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Is there any last advice you want to give for any aspiring business owners who are also hustling at work or school and would just want to start their own brand? Closing advice.
Just start. I mean, like you'll never feel ready. Like that's a big thing. You like always feel like there's more you should do to prep and stuff, but a lot of life is just trial and error. So just try it. And like, if it doesn't work out right at the beginning, like learn from it, keep going. That's a huge thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just start it. If you want to do it, like you can do it.
So for everyone listening, we're going to give away one of her hoodies that she designed. And yeah, hopefully you win. Yeah, hopefully you win. Thank you for coming on. We're excited to come on your podcast too on Friday, I think, right?
Friday morning.
Nice
little coffee chat.
9 a.m.
Hopefully I wake up.
I'll make sure she wakes up. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
See you. Bye.
Bye.